Hey, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon if you're watching this later in the day. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now, we got some big updates coming not only for our U.S. weather, but also for the La Palma volcano. It actually had the biggest earthquake that it had yet, even though they had a 5.0 Saturday, a 5.0 Sunday. They actually had a 5.1 early this morning. Now, we do have some storms that's coming off Texas and going into the Gulf, and this is actually going to create a front-induced low. It is going to put a lot of lift and some spin, and this is still going up the East Coast. We've been watching this for a few days, and a lot of people are going to be talking to you about a big, massive nor'easter. Plus, we still got that river flooding that's coming on the northwest, and not only is this still bringing heavy rainfall, some high wind gusts, it's going to bring 10 to 15 foot waves to the west coast and maybe about 20 foot or a little plus a little further out. Never been here before, hello. My name is Mark. I do upload every single day, just not Friday from sundown to sundown Saturday. That's Sabbath. But I'll make sure you're covered on whatever weather we have around us. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because I am all year long. And make sure you hit that bell so you know when my videos do come out. All I ask is share this on social media, everybody, so everybody knows exactly what can happen, what is going to happen more than likely, and what more than likely is not going to happen because I see some more false information getting put out there today. Now, there's a lot to talk about, so remember all the links are in the description to help save you time. Please support the channel by watching the video all the way through if you can. I'll try and make it as short as possible. Remember, all the links are always in the description to help save you time. So if you like the data I provide for you, please hit that like button. Let me know that you do want some updates on this information. Now, let's get to the weather that I need to show you. Now, you do have a chance for thunderstorms early this morning, about 40% for Texas, and this is where a lot of things are going to start off from. Around noontime, it's going to move further down Texas, and by 7, 8 o'clock tonight, it's going to move even further with this 40% chance for a thunderstorm. You have these storms going off and going to the Gulf of Mexico, and it actually can create a couple low pressure systems, put some lift, put some spin in them. And with this high pressure of cold air coming in, going clockwise, and the high pressure we have in Atlantic going clockwise, it's going to pull all this tropical wave that we have going through our Caribbean, going into the Pacific. It's going to jerk it all straight up north, and just like we've seen the other day, it's going to stretch it out. But all this precipitation mixed with some of this lift and spin that these fronts will induce, it could get together and make some subtropical systems. Now, tropical storm would be thunderstorms around the center of your storm. A subtropical storm is where the thunderstorms are at least 100 miles away from the center. So that would still bring some impacts to maybe the mid-Atlantic and the northeast, but I will go through what I have for you. Now, here's an overlook of what we have according to the GFS and the Euro. GFS is showing our tropical wave still going to Central America, while we still have this nice strong storm coming to the northwest, bringing rainfall, some wind gusts, and it's going to bring some high waves as well. As we go through, we can see that the tropical wave does come out on the East Pac. It starts roaring in the East Pac while you're getting storms on the northwest. At the same time, you get a front-induced low pressure system off the northeast, according to the GFS, and it does no harm. And that's not the one that everybody's talking about as far as the nor'easter. Then you're going to get a front-induced low pressure system, according to the GFS. It'll go over Florida. And with this high pressure going clockwise, it will spin this low pressure counterclockwise, and it will grow and go over Florida into the East Pac while you're getting hit with another storm in the northwest, which will be going on for a few days. According to the GFS, it will rub right up the mid-Atlantic and shoot out to the northeast. No threat to anybody. Now, the GFS has always been showing for a while now that we was going to get a big storm in between the 10th and the 12th, right in the central U.S. And then we actually get a couple of front-induced low-pressure systems. This one goes to the Midwest, right over Michigan. And you can see the cold front coming in this big 540 line. GFS is still showing that is coming later. And at the same time, we do get a front-induced low pressure system that builds up over the southeast. This one goes on a high ridge while it brings all this cold air on a deep trough to the south and the southeast. Now, GFS brings this up on a high ridge to where you get a lot of good winds and you get a lot of good thunderstorms on the east side of this, while you still get some good, maybe even possible major snowfall on the west side of the storm. But it goes on a very high ridge and you get winds and some storms to the northeast while you're getting all this cold air in the south, and it leaves. The Euro agrees that we're going to have that nice system on the northwest, bringing all the severe weather and the extra rainfall on the northwest. But it also shows that we will get a front-induced low-pressure system, just like GFS showed, right off the east coast. That will be going out, and another one that's coming in the Gulf of Mexico that would actually be meeting up with all the precipitation getting stripped from this tropical wave going into the Pacific. And you can see that right here. All this moisture is meeting up with the storm, and they become one, go over Florida, just like the GFS shows. But Euro is showing that it'd be a little bit higher ridge, and it'll go right up the coast and could be a massive storm, just like some people are saying, a massive nor'easter. And as you can see, the temperatures will be in the 40s, so it would be rainfall, maybe a little bit of sleet or mush, which would be mixed. But it will not be no massive snowstorm. And I'm still showing that that is not even true. While Euro's still confirming you will get another storm on the northwest. So there will be a couple storms coming to the northwest. This will be a few consecutive days of high waves, high winds, and some rainfall. Now the links are in the description for this as well, so you can follow this on the northwest. I know there's a lot of people that go out into the ocean, and a lot of boatmen and a lot of fishermen that do this for a living. But right around Thursday, okay, right around tomorrow evening, you're going to get 10 to 15 foot waves. There's going to be about 20 feet right offshore. And there's going to be a couple systems that's going to come in where this is going to stay around 10 to 15 feet the whole time. And offshore a little bit, it'll be around 20 plus feet waves. So you just need to be aware that that is coming. And it's bringing the rainfall. It's bringing some wind gusts. So there is some advisories. Now, according to the GFS on what your wind gusts could be throughout the whole country, you get to 40 to high 40 miles per hour wind gusts in this green to bright green. But once you get to that yellow to orange, it's in the 50s to high 50s, and the red is in the 60s. And you can see how for the northwest, you're going to be getting some 40 miles per hour wind gusts. You're going to be getting some 50, almost 60 in the higher elevations, and maybe some 60 miles per hour wind gusts along the coast. And while this goes over Florida, it's only bringing some 30 and 40 miles per hour wind gusts coming across. It won't get strong until after it crosses you. And you can see how it's not really affecting the coast or the northeast at all. And even the Euro is somewhat showing the same thing. You got some 40 to high 40 miles per hour wind gusts, 50 and possible 60 in the higher elevations coming from the storm system. And you can see right offshore it's 50 and 60 and almost 70 miles per hour wind gusts. So you do need to watch out for high winds out there, and don't let it turn your boat over, guys. As well as the southeast, it's showing it would actually pick up to 50 miles per hour winds before this crosses over Florida. And it could be a chance for Jacksonville, somewhere in that area, to be in the high 40s, maybe 50 miles per hour wind gusts. And it does strengthen up along the coast, and you can see it does bring 40 to maybe high 40 miles per hour wind gusts along the coast all the way up to the northeast, with a chance for maybe 50 on East Long Island, a little bit of eastern Connecticut and Rhode Island. And maybe Boston getting up to 60. That's a chance. Now that's according to the Euro. And I'm showing this morning even the update, because I always wait for the update, that is showing even further away. Now when you check the wind gusts according to Euro for the next 5 days, you can see here all the wind gusts. And when you go from 5 to 10 days, when this storm comes across the country, 40s are the pinks to purples are the 50s, and you have this high 60s around central U.S., and it gets pretty high, especially around Nebraska and South Dakota. It gets into the mid-60s. It's also showing the wind gusts on the west coast. Seattle will be in the 40s, Portland in the 40s, both maybe high 40s, and as you go down California, it just starts getting milder and milder. Through the whole pass, maybe the northeast will be in the high 40s as well, and maybe a chance for 50s, even high 60s as you get to the very edge of the New England states. So Boston, you could have another storm coming where it could be putting some more onshore flooding. If it gets close enough, just be aware of that. But either way it goes, it will bring 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts and be along pretty close to the coast. So it could be a lot of problems with the coastlines. I don't know who's going swimming in these temperatures, but if you do, be careful you don't get pulled out. GFS with 5 days, you can see in 5 days it shows it going way away, not affecting nobody. You're still getting the winds on the northwest. And as that big system carries through, it shows that the 40 miles per hour wind gusts will carry further east than what the Euro is showing. Euro is showing it would be a quick hook. GFS is showing it would be a little bit further before the quick hook. It's a lot less winds. It would bring 40 miles per hour wind gusts, maybe pockets of 50. That's about it. And it's showing a little bit less miles per hour wind gusts on the west coast. Still showing high 40s for Seattle. Portland, though, is showing a little bit less, like maybe barely over 40 miles per hour wind gusts. But you can see right offshore, if you are going out in your boats, it is 60 miles per hour wind gusts, even the high 60s. So just be aware that these waves will be 10 to 15 feet with a lot of wind gusts. And for the northeast, you wouldn't be getting anything. If you're lucky, high 20s to very low 30 miles per hour wind gusts. It's going to be further offshore. But with this storm, according to the GFS, a little bit further east and this very cold air come down even further south, you have a chance, if it were to happen on the west side of this storm, on the wraparound to get some snow from maybe Tennessee and go even as far as northern Georgia. That's a possibility according to the GFS, as well as all the snowfall going all the way to the north. But as you can see, it goes right up on a very high ridge and it don't go out to the northeast. The Euro takes it up pretty tight to the northeast, where the GFS took it a little bit further offshore and relaxed. And the next storm, the Euro takes it to the Midwest, putting some severe weather, but it takes it away to the Midwest and not doing much of anything. Now, when you look at your NAO, which is your North Atlantic Oscillation, according to the Euro, lets you know if you have a high ridge or a deep trough. You see around the 8th. Now, when you see this bobbling up and down, that's because we have a high ridge, a deep trough, a high ridge. And that means there's a low pressure system that's going to be in this traveling. And you can see it's right around the 8th, 7th and 8th when this will happen with this deep trough, and it will create a low pressure system and it will carry. But you see it goes right back on a high ridge on the 9th and 10th, and maybe another one coming on the 12th. Not too far in. That's why it's showing the Midwest. Now the GFS also is showing this storm around the 7th and 8th. It's showing a nice little dip, but it's not showing it going up on a higher ridge. It's showing it's going to stay a little bit relaxed and carry off into the Atlantic and not go real high to the northeast. But it is showing that later on, just like I just showed you that high pull to the Midwest, that the storm is coming sometime from the 12th to the 14th, and we're going to be on a high ridge after that. So it's going to pull that storm extremely high from the Ohio Valley to the Midwest, like I just showed you. Now, when you look at the ensembles, according to the GFS, to see where the chance for any kind of cyclone to form, in 72 hours, it does get one induced in the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the one going off the East Coast. And you can see as you go 4 and 5 days out, that it does go across Florida and it goes off into the Atlantic. But there is one ensemble that shows it could buckle in real quick and then go back out. But that's just one. The majority of them show this is not going to be an issue. This is going to be far off land. With the update, you can see how none of that is appearing in the Gulf, and it actually appears over the southeast pretty weak and continues to go east. And when you look at the possibility of a tropical depression, according to the Euro, to see if the Euro is correct, in 4 days, you have a 10% chance right off the East Coast. When you go to 5 days, it starts strengthening up your chance, but you can see the direction that this storm is headed. It's not headed on a high ridge to the northeast. It will be going away. And of course, an 8 o'clock update from NOAA. Don't show anything coming on within the next 5 days. Nothing. And in the Pacific, they updated 1 to 50% chance in the next 48 hours, 70% chance next 5 days, and the second one is just going to gander through. I'm showing this one's actually going to die off. This one's going to continue going west in the Pacific. But then we got that deep trough coming in of that cold air, and it's going to be doing a little high block. And it could be doing some steering winds and bringing these two systems back on Mexico. A little too far to be sure, but that's what it's showing this morning. NOAA has updated their medium to long range forecast, and they are still showing that this is going to pull even further away for November 3rd through November 9th from Central America before it forms and curve out into the Pacific. And from the 10th through the 16th, nothing. And when you check globally and see what's going on, you can see with the GFS is picking up a weak system off the East Coast, and it is pulling off east-northeast, and a good chance for it really to strengthen up to a strong storm out there in the Atlantic. The Euro shows the ones that's going to the Pacific will just continue to go out because it's not showing this cold front that GFS has been showing for a while. And it does show right here that it will be a strong system. It will start off weak over Florida, go up the East Coast, start strengthening up, and immediately go east-northeast because we have these cold fronts coming. There's no way it can come in. And when you follow simulated infrared satellite, you can see how this next wave is going into the Pacific. The other one will group up as well. But you'll notice how all this precipitation gets sheared off and it gets pulled around the high pressure, and it all meets up around the southeast of the Gulf of Mexico, somewhere around Florida, with that possible spin that it gets from these storms coming in, front induced of course, but it still could produce a storm with all that precipitation and go up the East Coast and go towards the east. At the same time, these two waves do something really wonky. You can see that they're getting sheared a lot, but they're trying to grow. Then all of a sudden they get pushed by the steering winds towards Mexico. And you can see that here on GFS, they really do something weird. They start headed out and then they start coming back. And both of them starts coming right back towards Mexico. A little too far to be sure. Now, real quick, before I continue on with what's going on with this storm and these temperatures, the Palma volcano had a 5.1 earthquake at 7:30 this morning, and that's the strongest ever. Even those two that I just had this weekend was 5.0s. Now it's just continually putting, if it even goes down to a 5, still 5.0 earthquakes are coming out of La Palma. And they did do some more investigation on what's going on with the depth of it, how long it lasted, and what's the truth behind it. And they reported this actually went down to a 4.9 earthquake. But this is a video, link in the description, so you can see what it was like when it started bursting up really strong after that earthquake. A lot of ash is still coming out of this volcano, and we're talking a lot and very powerful burst. Look how strong that eruption is. Look at all that ash. That's a big fountain. And Livestorm's media put a drone over by the volcano so you can see that fissure I showed you yesterday coming out one, going into the other sinkhole is still happening, guys. As a matter of fact, it's flowing a lot more lava than yesterday. Link in the description to go see Livestorm's media's video. But here it is, coming right out of that first fissure and still pouring a lot of heavy lava going right back into the other sinkhole. So that is still going on. That is like now a thing. So if there's any geologists or geophysicists out there, please let me know what happens to the Earth's crust and all underneath with these sinkholes when you have this very hot lava coming out one sinkhole going back into another. What happens with that part in between them two sinkholes? Would that be okay, or would that actually collapse and be one? And here's another one from Livestorm's media showing right on the top of the caldera. And you can see, look at all this ash coming out very hostilely right out of this volcano. And that is a lot of ash. It is coming out fierce. Look at that. But just look at what it is doing over there. You got fierce fountain coming out. You got all these vents with some fierce smoke and ashes coming out. This is really a big issue for them. Go subscribe to Livestorm's media because they always put out some great videos. Still showing that the air quality is still bad for La Palma and the Canary Islands, and you can see how it is bad for Morocco and Algeria as this passes through. But I'm still showing that those winds will come in and it will clear y'all by Thursday evening, definitely by Friday morning, of any of that sulfur dioxide. And you can also see here on your all 30 perturbed members that in 5 days this system is not going to be hugged up to the coast. All the members are agreeing that this is going to be away a little bit. You have one right here that shows it very weak and a little bit close. But you can see them. They're all going away. I don't see any major nor'easter. There's a system that could be strengthening as it passes by. A good view is this one right here. You see it does strengthen to a strong storm as it leaves. But I'm showing it to be too far away to give any serious impacts to anybody. And when you look at your Arctic Oscillation, your AO, which lets you know how far down and how cold this air is going to be from the north that we're going to get. And you do see the cold temperatures you have now. It has y'all in the 40s in the south and southeast. Some people in the freezing temperatures. Then we got that big warm up that we've been looking at. And then we have another cold front coming down, not too strong according to the Euro. Sometime around the 7th, so it won't be there for that storm around the 8th, maybe for the Midwest if that were to happen. And around the 12th, it's coming down, but not too far. So if it were to happen for the Northeast, it definitely would only be light snow for the intercoastal, and that is it. GFS has always been on top of it. It's showing the temperatures we have now, our warm up that we're about to get, where everybody's going to be in the 50s and 60s. Even closer in the south will be maybe in the 70s. But you see we do have some cold air coming sometime around the 6th through the 8th, more likely around the 7th or 8th, which could be some snowfall for the Midwest. It's still showing that around the 12th that we are still getting that storm, and we are still getting a big dip of cold air almost down to a -3. But you can see what it's going to do for the tropics. This is your precipitable water, and you can see the cold air coming in the brown. That's the dry air. And you can see the waves that gets pulled from the Caribbean. Does that, you got two high pressures, and it's keeping it away. It's not going to be any storm be able to come in anywhere or do anything. Then after that, we have that even colder dip of cold air according to the GFS. While anything tries to do anything, this is going to push even further into the Caribbean. Big high pressure. Nothing's coming towards us anytime soon, guys. You can also see this from the shot from the whole U.S. You can see the cold air come in. You can see the moisture try and group up on the southeast, but it gets pushed away by the high pressure. It don't make it too far. It might get up to the mid-Atlantic out in the ocean, but it goes away. As well as anything that tries to come after that, we're still going to get that second cold blast that's coming through, and it's going to keep everything away. It's going to push everything away from the coast. Now this is our tropopause. This lets us know all the weather that's above us and what we're going to have below us. And you can see the cold air pocket coming to the south and the southeast from the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. It reaches real far into the south. Then it goes to the southeast and goes up to mid-Atlantic and then the northeast. And by that time, literally the whole east side of the country is either going to be in the 20s to the low 30s. So I did put on a Euro and see what the chances are for at least 1 inch of snowfall so we can see what's coming with all this cold air and these cyclones. And this is a percentile. So you can see that dark red is 100 percentile of at least 1 inch of snowfall. Now that gray you see go over the deep south, that is 5 to 10% chance of maybe getting 1 inch. It looks like it gets a little better towards the panhandle of Texas for a 15% chance of getting 1 inch of snowfall. But you can see where the 10% chance is of getting maybe 1 inch. It's not very high. And your 6 to 10 day outlook on your temperatures, according to the National Weather Service, you can see how everybody's going to be above average temperatures because there's warm up coming. You'll be below average on the northwest because you do have some storms. And you'll be below average on southern Florida. But for everybody else in the southeast, this will be around your temperatures. 40s to high 40s, maybe low 50s. You'll be average. And for the 8 to 14 day outlook, you're still going to be below average in the northwest. But southwest, you're going to be a little bit above average. You're going to be above average in the northeast for your temperatures. And everybody else is just going to be for their average temperatures for this time of year. So nothing super cold is coming in. Still got freezing temperatures coming, but that's about average. And just like I showed on the Arctic Oscillation for GFS, this is lagging a little bit later and later. So this is all the way to the 15th, where you could be waking up in the 20s for your temperatures for Texas and western Texas as this dips through, goes on a ridge, then dips back down again. As well as freezing temperatures for some of Ohio Valley and the Midwest, and of course the higher elevations. Now with the wind chill, it's going to make the south feel like they're in the 30s, and the panhandle of Texas, you could feel like you're in the teens with the wind chill, with everybody else feeling like they're in the 20s. Now that's just your morning lows, just what you wake up with. As well as the Midwest, feeling like you're in the teens to 20s, Ohio Valley, and the intercoastal Northeast. You're going to be feeling like you're in the 30s, maybe even the high 20s because your wind chills. And then it's going to swing all the way to the 17th and 18th to the southeast. And you can see you're still getting in the high 30s for your morning lows for northern Florida and central Florida in the high 40s, and southern Florida maybe high 50s to very low 60s. But you are getting freezing temperatures in northern Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and upstate South Carolina still showing that. And with the wind chill, this is once again going to feel very cold for a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all going to feel like you're in the 20s in the deep south, 20s and low 30s for the northeast, teens for the Midwest, and teens and 20s for the Ohio Valley. But don't let this worry you. This isn't no Arctic blast, just like they're claiming on the one now. Nothing's sticking around. We're still going to warm right back up, and y'all going to be in the 50s and 60s for your highs. And remember, Florida, these iguanas are going to be falling out these trees because they do freeze up once it drops. I think it's, 55 degrees? They start freezing up and falling out trees. So do like this guy's doing is very nice. Pull them out, get them some sunshine, because they will be falling off. And you know how big these things can get. So they could hurt themselves. So just make sure you grab them, put them in some sunshine, bring them back. And one more thing real quick, I want to compare these models for you to let you see exactly what the updates are. And this is according to the Euro. And you can see how it has your storm in the northeast, has it going up to 979, just hitting the coast of the northeast and pulling away. But if you check it out, boom. It hasn't seen this storm. It showed it maybe in the southeast, then it didn't show it. It has not started picking up on this storm except for the last 2 runs. That's it. Now, the update on the GFS shows it even weaker off the coast, and it shows it strengthening up and pulling away, and you can see how it really don't affect anyone. And just to check the accuracy of the GFS, it's always showed this storm over here. It's been following it for a minute. Euro's just picking up on it. And this one is a CMC, just to be well-rounded. You can see how the CMC brings it pretty weak, and it goes offshore and starts strengthening up and pulling away. So it's agreeing. And the CMC took it as a closer storm, and now the update is further away. So I got it on NAM 3K for the next 60 hours so you can see what's going on the northwest and your storms that you got in the south that's going across Florida. It will be a lot of tropical moisture being pulled up. God bless you all today. Hope you have a very blessed day today. If you like the data I found for you, please hit that like button. Show support. Thank you so much. Now today, I want to go over Psalm 118. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, because his mercy endureth forever. Let Israel now say that his mercy endureth forever. Let the house of Aaron now say that his mercy endureth forever. Let them now that fear the Lord say that his mercy endureth forever. I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me? The Lord taketh my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord will I destroy them. They compass me about. Yes, they compass me about. But in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. They compass me about like bees. They are quenched as a fire of thorns. For in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. Thou hast thrust sore at me that I might fall, but the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and song, and is become my salvation. The voice of rejoicing and salvation is in the tabernacles of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. The right hand of the Lord is exalted. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. I shall not die, but live, and declare the works of the Lord. The Lord hath chastened me sore, but he hath not given me over unto death. Open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them, and I will praise the Lord. This gate of the Lord into which the righteous shall enter. I will praise thee, for thou hast heard me, and art become my salvation. The stone which the builders refuse is become the headstone of the corner. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord. O Lord, I beseech thee, send now prosperity. Blessed be he that cometh in the name of the Lord. We have blessed you out of the house of the Lord. God is the Lord, which hath showed us light. Bind the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns of the altar. Thou art my God, and I will praise thee. Thou art my God, I will exalt thee. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Amen. Have a great day, guys. I hope I helped you in some way to understand what's going on with this storm. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. All power and all glory does go to God, God of Jacob, our Father. And his mercy endureth forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a very blessed Wednesday. Only a couple more days left before we can relax. Enjoy.